On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast, we're going to tell you the story behind Jimmy Page and Robert Plant's Walking into Clarksdale album. This is a Semi-Zeppelin reunion that took, us back to the glory days for just a brief period way back in the mid-90s. Stick around. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Moms and dads and boys and girls, children of all ages, grandmas and grandpas even Democrats and Republicans. We do not discriminate here. No. Welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. I am your host for this weekly gathering of like-minded folk. What am I saying? This is
what the hell are you talking about?
Music. We get together. We get usually pretty blitzed. I'll just put it out there. And not me, but we. By we, I don't mean myself.
No.
I mean just the general essence. In any case, we get together. We talk about music, and we have a really good time. If you've never been here before, welcome. You're gonna like it. We are sponsored by Wolf's Customs. Get a custom artwork, custom paint job done on your musical instrument. No sense getting up there to perform with the same boring, old-looking guitar that the last 5 bands got up and played. No, you can have a really cool artwork done on your guitar, musical, bass guitar, any kind of musical instrument, drums. They do it all. Check out Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online or just find them on social media. Tell them Loudini sent you. Rock and roll. Let me say it again. RockRageRadio.com. You want to download that app because it ain't crap. That's all.
Wow.
That app ain't crap.
That's beautiful.
I know.
Man.
I just,
Woof.
I'm in a groove.
Something.
I don't know. I don't know what this stuff is.
Oh God.
But
I think
That's the first problem.
there's stuff there called alcohol.
This is, you know what? No, you know what this is?
What is it?
This is Happy Juice.
Did you find it in the alley?
Juice.
It's Happy Juice.
Lou.
This is the greatest. I'm blown away by this.
Lou.
This is just has taken me to new heights.
Okay, you need to put that down.
So,
Lou, Lou, I have a question. Is it like my Jesus juice? I used to feed it to all my visitors.
okay. Oh my God.
My Jesus
Okay,
juice.
Jim Jones, thank you. But go to rockrageradio.com, download the app. It ain't crap. It's a great place to hear great music programming, great music content, 24/7, new bands, interviews, all kind of cool stuff. Check it out, rockrageradio.com. We have Lily V6 in the house with us. She is a host.
Mm-hmm.
A radio personality.
She's a radio personality. She's got a big personality.
That's what they
Two of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's funny when you guys say it.
No, she's talking about us, Lou. Bones Magoo.
That's why they're nerds.
They're nerds?
You.
Oh,
She is from Rock Rage Radio, and so you get a little sampling of the overall Rock Rage flavor here because we do have Lily V6. And then there's this other guy that comes and hangs out, Pittsburgh Kevin. What's up, Pittsburgh Kevin?
So I was thinking about this today. I'm Pittsburgh Kevin.
Yes.
Right? I was thinking about this today.
I'm Pittsburgh Kevin.
And when I was in the Army, I had a guy go, "Hey man,"
And I was in the Army.
Just keep talking.
talk over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But when I was in the Army, I had a guy ask me, "Hey man, where you from?" And I'm like,
Hey man, where are you from? What I'm doing is I'm turning your life into like a Broadway musical.
No boy.
How do you like it so far?
"Oh my God, Pittsburgh Kevin,
It's the
Broadway
saddest thing I've ever
musical.
heard.
Forget Hamilton, Pittsburgh Kevin." So anyway, this dude's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Pittsburgh." He goes, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am."
Okay.
He's like, "You don't sound like you're from Pittsburgh. And I'm like, hey, what you just want me to talk like this and that? And he goes,
boy.
oh, you're from Pittsburgh.
It's unfortunate that is really going away.
What is
there
your...
aren't nearly as many people that from Pittsburgh that talk like that.
No.
Like,
But
not nearly.
every now and again, you'll find
You do,
them.
and if I've had people who listen to my podcast,
Yeah.
they have picked out
Pittsburghese.
not when I was doing it as a joke, but just little
But
things.
yeah.
But it's not like super like that. Like, back in the days of Myron Cope and all that sort of thing,
Billy T wants to know what's in your drink. What are you drinking?
It's Happy Juice.
It's not
Just
Jeepers
go to
Creepers.
happyjuice.com.
You probably don't want to do that.
You don't want to go to that
Happy Juice.
website.
Bill,
That'd be not a website you want to go to.
Bill, I'll find out and I'll text you. I'll find out and I'll text you. Oh.
But in any case,
Yeah, it's funny you talk about like every now and again a little Pittsburghese will pop out. If you watch Back to the Future, there is one point where Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly says, "Well, I'm sorry." I'm like, you Canadian, it popped out. I gotcha.
you hear them. Yeah. In
Every
any
now and
case,
again.
but that sort of Pittsburgh hardcore is kind of going away.
It is. It's not as bad as it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a local flavor that we all enjoyed.
It's delicious.
It's like Permanis.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh,
You wanna
Pittsburgh
see?
Cat. No,
It's right
You're
here.
not really gonna see anything
Take
on
a
the
look.
tip. I was my friend Katie Simone and
Yes.
her and some other crazy cohorts had this open stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and hung out a couple of times. It was super fun. And they were trying to figure out a name, and Katie had suggested Just the Tip.
Yikes!
And I remember we were all laughing, and they were really kind of unnamed. But I think they were like, I do sometimes, like, I like just to come up with band names just for the hell of it. I think they were just enamored with like, stupid band names are coming, so they couldn't decide on anything. But we are speaking of crazy.
Hey! Can I? Speaking of Katie Simone, can I plug her? Oh, jeez! Wow, Bones, don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. All right, Katie is going to be performing at the Getaway Cafe in Brookline. Is that? No. Anyway,
Just a tip.
just a tip. It's a whole thing with Katie. It'll be March 19th, 9 to midnight, Getaway Cafe in Brookline on Sussex. I just went up because I love Katie Simone. I'm going to see her.
Sussex.
Hey, Yins want to meet me and that? Come on down there. Yins can buy me a beer. You buy me a yard of beer like the old days.
You can get some cold iron.
Cold iron.
Cold iron.
Cold iron.
That cold iron, it fills me up like I have icy light.
Icy light. Yeah.
Just drink water.
Wait a minute.
Fire water.
5%
This is
alcohol.
the-
Just saying.
Calling the kettle black right here.
More alcohol than most beers.
Okay, and anyways, we're just joking around. Everybody have a good time. Everybody settle down. Settle down.
Is this what we call banter?
Settle.
We got lots of banter going on. Here.
Settle the fuck down.
Whoa! Oh.
I get this podcast under control.
Woo.
No.
You don't know what it's like. You
You
guys
don't
just
know
don't
how it
understand.
feels to be me.
So we are talking about this record now. Like from the day that Led Zeppelin broke up, it was December 4th, 1980. Okay, fans had would this massive outcry for them to get back together, to do something, to not break up, like to do something. Do something. Oops, sorry.
Well, you did
I
something.
just did something.
Yeah, you did.
But all through the, they ended in 1980, but all through the 80s, their influence could be felt. There's a lot of bands that come from, that LA hard rock scene that definitely influenced by Led Zeppelin. I mean, they were just,
Yes.
and Kingdom Come.
Yes.
Those guys,
Sure.
even like 80s era Whitesnake,
Mm-hmm.
Great White, even a lot of those bands have that sound, but they never really quite like fit for like the bill for true Led Zeppelin fans. And then many years later, in about 1994, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant reunited for a series of shows, which would be filmed by MTV and later released as the No Quarter album. Okay, this was a milestone in rock music. Fans finally had the spirit of Led Zeppelin back for at least a few years. And in 98, Page and Plant released an album of new material in almost 20 years called Walking into Clarksdale. So that is what we are going to be talking about today.
What? What?
What?
Why the hell have I been listening to Last Train to Clarksville the last week? Did I misunderstand?
It's not a monkeys podcast.
Sorry.
Although we do act like monkeys sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Well, usually. So I wanted to. So it's not that famous of an album, and I think as we discuss it, you're going to understand why. But it is a really interesting thing that happened because people are just, when's Led Zeppelin guys got to get back together? I mean, there was like so much talk about it, and like Robert Plant would get angry when journalists would ask him about it. They were just like, just not having it. Robert Plant and John Bonham were best friends, and he just had said many times that it just broke his heart. He just couldn't imagine being Led Zeppelin without Bonzo. So he just was he had to. But those guys were still young and insanely talented. And Robert Plant went on to have big records in the 80s, and Jimmy Page played with Paul Rodgers and The Firm, and he did the Outrider album, which was really good and stuff like that. So he stayed active and producing and a lot of stuff like that. John Paul Jones was producer as well. So but it just never really got. They never really got back together. And this really isn't a Led Zeppelin reunion exactly either.
Right. Because
there is no John Paul Jones. And, of course, John Bonham was passed away. So it's a kind of strange thing in rock music where we all sort of pretended for a few years that Led Zeppelin was doing something. Yeah. We're just sort of – and it was cool. It was a cool thing. I remember when it happened. So, but I think –
I actually do.
Yes, you do too. Yeah, it was a really big, and there was a lot of excitement around it, and his voice sounded great, and Jimmy Page sounded and looked great. They looked like rock stars still. They didn't look like geezers, and so they were able to really pull something off, and they really did a great reinterpretation of their own music, and you went oh, this fits perfect with today's music. It doesn't sound, dated at all.
Yeah.
It sounds very, very cool. and a lot of people, came out, we're doing little Led Zeppelin covers. You get Pearl Jam, a lot of different bands like that. Where if you could search it on YouTube. The video quality and the audio quality isn't great, but there is a video of Nirvana playing Black Dog.
Really?
I'll have to look that
You
up.
would think they wouldn't even be able to play it because they're such punk rockers.
Right.
But no, they play it.
That's cool.
They play it. I mean, they don't do the whole song. They do a minute of it or something like that, and I'm like, dang. But that just goes to show you the importance of Led Zeppelin, that it sort of transcended the grunge or whatever. And so, that's kind of where the story begins, right, Lily?
Yeah.
So what do you got?
Okay. Released April 21st, 1998. So I was actually around for this release. I was in high school. I was 17.
Something new.
She's only 17.
And thanks to my ex-husband, but my boyfriend at the time, this is how I knew about the album, because he's actually the one that got me into Led Zeppelin. It is the only studio album by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. The album was recorded and mixed by Steve Albini at Abbey Road Studios. It debuted on the Billboard's Top 200 album chart at number 8. And reached number 3 on the UK. The single Most High was awarded a Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance in 1999. The title of the album refers to Clarksdale, Mississippi, a town in the Mississippi Delta considered to be the birthplace of blues music. Following their successful No Quarter tour and a subsequent live album release, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant began writing Walking into Clarksdale. For the new record, Page and Plant pursued a more stripped-down sound. The initial demos for the album were written by Page on some kind of guitar, Harmony H1260 Sovereign. I don't know what that is. I'm sure you guys do. It was first used during the recording of Led Zeppelin 3. Page characterized the band's approach as minimalistic, stating that the band wanted to avoid embellishments for the sake of it, which I think was part of people's problem with the album. And that every note was played in its place to mean something. And Steve Albini was known for, the guy who produced it was known for also producing Nirvana's final album, In Utero. Atlantic Records promoted the album extensively with advertising on major U.S. cable channels and national print publications like Rolling Stone magazine. Interviews booked on nearly every major talk show. I do remember all of this because I had to watch all of it because of my ex-husband. And a substantial radio buy in the top 20 radio markets. In addition to more traditional promotional channels, Atlantic signed a deal with Ticketmaster for the a first for the label to upsell the album directly to customers who ordered the tickets for the 1998 tour. I couldn't find who the kids are on the front. Everybody thinks it is Page and Plant. I don't think it is. But the artwork was done by Martin Kellerman. And I did get to go to that tour.
Show it.
And I have my tickets.
Show the ticket.
From the Civic Arena in 1998, July 1st. I know, right?
How's that smell?
It is in wrapper.
Ooh, that smell.
And later on, we can talk about the set list, which I do have from that show.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you. Would you like to look at it?
What did you think of the show when you saw it?
So this was my first sort of Led Zeppelin experience live, because obviously I wasn't around when they did live shows, and I'm going to tell you what, it was fantastic. It was a packed house. The music was phenomenal. I freaked out on every Zeppelin song, because I didn't know all of their new stuff yet, but yeah, the energy in the arena was insane. It was freezing cold. Or no, it was not freezing cold. I was sweltering. That's what it was. I was sweating to death. And whenever they played rock and roll, like, I could feel it in my chest. It was so fantastic. They did the lights for Tangerine. It was wonderful. It was like no other concert experience I've had.
Wow.
So,
That's
amazing.
cool.
Very Led Zeppelin-like from what I've seen on videos.
Ooh, just like that.
Yes, just
Yes,
like that.
it was magical. It was magical. I don't know what to say to that.
Oh, okay.
No comment.
Speechless.
Speechless. I did not see that. I remember all that happening. There is a concert DVD from, I believe, a later. I don't like later on, because they didn't do it real long, and then they reunited for a little bit in the early 2000s. And I believe it's from the early 2000s time where the concert DVD originates at, and it's flawless. I mean, they still performed like real rock stars, and Robert Plant sounded very, very good. He didn't really. I didn't hear him really trying to work around, any of the vocals on the songs. He was pretty much doing them the way
They should be done.
Well, the way he did them originally.
Yeah.
And the fans seemed to be very, very happy with it. That sounded great. Do you have any comments on this, Pittsburgh, Kevin? On this?
No.
Okay.
We've got Chris Thunderwolf Dotson watching with Raven and Bill, and Denya Caruso is watching. Chris Thunderwolf said Great White was a Zeppelin cover band before they got big. Yes.
Yes.
Wow. How about
so
that?
there
Thank
have
you,
it.
Chris.
Oh, and James.
James. Hello, James.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hello, James. I heard that James was taking a trip down the Thames.
Wow. I just saw Jimmy at the Stephen Piercy show on Wednesday.
Stephen Pierce me.
Yes, that one.
Ouch.
The opening act was Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Whoa, sir. That
Or
was
Turbo
uncalled
Lovers.
for.
Turbo Lice.
Turbo Lovers.
Oh, they said
And a Common Crown.
Turbo Lice. My
Turbo
God.
Lice.
Wow.
What's wrong?
Wow.
That's just something that can't
It's
fundamentally
wrong.
wrong about Turbo Lice. So
Yeah.
let's just not talk about Turbo Lice anymore. I'm not even going to say Turbo Lice. This is the last time I'm not saying Turbo Lice. You can't make me say Turbo Lice.
No, I don't want you to have to say Turbo Lice.
I won't say Turbo Lice, I promise. Anyways,
Is there like a noose somewhere?
Yeah.
So,
Remember that time Lily killed herself? It was funny.
On live Facebook.
On live Facebook. Remember that?
Charlie, excuse me 1 second. I am on the air right now. Please message Josh on your own. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, look how angry I am.
Oh, you knocked the can over.
so
Don't
somebody
worry,
gets
it was
on
empty.
the podcast and asks to call your ex-boy.
Excuse me. I have to text Lily.
This is the highbrow
Yeah,
entertainment we're bringing.
Top-notch entertainment here.
Just call me,
Seriously, just call him yourself, for God's sake.
just call me Loudini Springer. My survey says you are the father. That's Mari Povich. Sorry, I got my
Yeah, it's close enough.
Doesn't matter.
talk show host mixed up. Okay. Wow. So, Jerry Springer was all the rage, by the way, when this album got released.
Legit.
Yeah, see how we tied in? Good job, Lou. Good job.
Good job.
Oh, you're a good
We have
boy.
13 people watching. I got to spruce up a bit. I gotta
Yeah,
get my shit
come on, look nice.
We
Nice
have an
shirt.
audience. Wait a minute. Let me get my shit together. And then back in the October of 1970. Okay, so I want to say something about this, and I know it's gonna be not welcome.
Uh-oh.
So I need to get into this record because this is was highly anticipated, like really highly anticipated record. Maybe as anticipated as Chinese Democracy, like really anticipated.
Wow.
Like as anticipated as the third Boston album. Remember when we waited 10 years for that?
Yes.
We waited a long time for this record, and just like those other two albums are a disappointment, this record is definitely a disappointment. Not because it's not really a good record. It is a really good record. If this was a record by Big Wreck or Soundgarden or Greta Van Fleet or Rival Sons, we'd be like, oh my God, do you remember this debut album and it came out and how great it was, etc. But these guys are the guys that wrote Black Dog. They wrote Stairway to Fucking Heaven.
I don't think that's the title.
It's close enough.
I mean, there's no what is and what should never be on here. There's no Over the Hills and Far Away. There's no Thank You. There's no Tangerine. There's like there's nothing that like that's as good as that. Mm-hmm. There just isn't. Is it solid? Absolutely. It's really. I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times now, just in preparation for this podcast. And I think if this was a Robert Plant solo album, it would be being hailed as like one of his greatest solo albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Robert Plant solo album that Jimmy Page guested on or something. You know, it'd be like really impressive. But the expectation, it'd be like if Lennon and McCartney did a
Right.
record together.
Yeah.
The expectation of
You're
something
like,
like that.
wow.
It was
This
way
better be fucking good.
out of control.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not hating on the record, but it's definitely not to the standard that like you would think from these two, like this pedigree, if you will. So we can talk more. What did you want to get into? Did you want to?
Oh,
talk
I
about
have
some
tracks.
songs? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some tracks.
All songs by Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, Charlie Jones, and Michael Lee. The first song is Shining.
You want to say who Charlie Jones and Michael Lee are?
I don't want to say that because I don't know.
Bass player and drummer.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant like maybe there was somebody more than that. Sorry.
They were actually musicians from Robert Plant's solo band.
Oh, okay.
From around that time.
So Shining in the Light is the first song on the album. It's sort of like a good old-fashioned love song. Love songs were not really a priority with Led Zeppelin. They were more about sex, obviously, but this was interesting to hear from the duo. They have done a few love songs, but
Well, yeah,
I'm not gonna do
thank
that.
you.
Well, what's
Yeah.
wrong with being sexy?
Thank you for, was for Plant's wife, and All My Love Was for a Son. But most of the songs are sexual. Plant is a true romantic, so he decided to be that way for this song on the album, as a few others. This is one of the singles that was released for the album, and it reached number 6 on the Hot Mainstream charts.
This is a really good song. It's a very good song.
This is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better songs on the album. Absolutely. But again, like I don't sounds like you're gonna hear my comment over and over on much of these songs is they sound like songs that didn't quite make Presence, or they didn't quite make In Through the Outdoor. Like in that later period of Zeppelin, like they were songs that maybe they had recorded but didn't feel like they lived up, so they didn't put them on those records. And so now they've been like, they just don't. They don't sound like top list Led Zeppelin songs. Again, Shining in the Light is a very, very good song. I also might say that but it is not. It should not have opened the album. Led Zeppelin had always hit you right,
Smacked you in the
between
face.
eyes,
Yeah.
the first song. And but I think this is also them saying like, calm down. This isn't going to sound like what you think it's going to sound like. And so in that sense, I guess that's what there's a song that I definitely think should have opened the album, and we'll talk about it later. But what you got next? What's next, Lily?
When the World Was Young. This one is sort of reminiscent of Zeppelin classics like In the Light or 10 Years Gone. It starts out slow with the gradual increase in the intensity of the song, and then it continues with the dramatic rock and roll sound, and then the ending slow outro. It's an emotional sort of song, so the drums aren't super heavy until the Led Zeppelin-esque heavy section of the drums. It's an epic song, seems to be about an immortal being having to do with an ancient lost love. It's simple but powerful chorus. And
Powerful. It's pretty
Powerful.
powerful. Powerful. All kind of power. I have one word for it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Slow.
Yes.
Oh.
Slow. And there's a lot of slow on this record. There's too much slow. That's the major complaint for me.
Get up.
What you got now? What's the next one?
Upon a Golden Horse. It includes the 70s guitar crunch and the orchestral inflections by Page. It was contrasted by Page's tempered vocals. So I feel the lyrics are like Stairway to Heaven a little bit, with there being like a fantasy sort of thing involved, with the dancing and the sea and the golden horse, but also a love story.
Let me see here. Golden. What's it called again?
Upon a Golden Horse.
Well, we'll get it. I know what song it is. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm trying to type
I
because
know.
I want to look up the lyrics. Because it caught my interest.
Oh, okay.
Upon a Golden Horse here. We'll take a quick look at them. Okay. Spinny thing on the computer.
I hate the spinning thing too.
First there was a fire that burned. After came the sea, crawling through the rain and storm for you, for me. Slowly walks the sacred fool, countenance sublime, shining in the light of love, shining, shining. Oh, shine for me now, shine for me now. High upon a golden horse, out upon the sea, moves a man with simple words. Some for you now, some for me. Burn for me, up there where the wind blows, oh, where the soul is free, you will be my brightest star, shining, shining. Yeah, that's kind of, kind of trippy, kind of out there.
Kind of like, you want to go like this?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. So my notes are, now we're getting somewhere. I think the riff is really killer. I think it's a good riff. I love the very cinematic strings that are in it. They really build it. Like I wrote in my notes, like kind of like Cashmere, but it's like actually it's like more intense than that. Like it goes in different places. It's really, really good. I think that the verses are a little kind of low key and a little too kind of mellow for my taste. I would have I understand that they were slower, quieter sections, but I think that one of the things I think Plant does on this record that I think is a mistake in places is he doesn't just go for it. He sounds restrained in places. And this is where, if you listen to how he sings something like "Thank You" on those soft parts, he still has that kind of cry and edge in his voice. Mm-hmm. But when the mellow sections on this song, it's like really subdued, It's really, it's just very, it's like, it's like this whole record sounds like he was singing all that stuff that he was singing in the 80s for like so long that he forgot that he was Robert Plant. It was in Led Zeppelin. That's what some of this sounds like to me a little bit. I know, again, like if he was here, he'd probably slap me in the head and say, "We weren't trying to be Led Zeppelin, you idiot." I get that, but that was what people were kind of
That was the
expecting.
expectation.
Yeah.
We were looking for that same vibe, and it's spotty. It's here and there. Mm-hmm. What do you got next, Lily?
Blue Train.
Oh God!
This
Open a fucking vein.
Here
Oh,
we
boy.
go. This one's a very
Oh,
sad song
boy.
emotionally, hence the name. Some people describe it like a desperate plea from a father. It's likely about his son. His son passed away from a stomach flu in 1977 while he was on tour with Zeppelin. The vocals definitely overpower the instruments in the song, sort of highlighting them. And that's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a tender ballad.
Yeah.
I thought it was completely wrong for this record. Again, why doesn't he do this with Alison Krauss? This would be a good one for them to do.
There you go.
You know what I mean? With that, with the, it could be there's some real dirges on this, guys. It's seriously like if you're too depressed, you may this wouldn't be
don't
good.
listen to that
Yeah,
one.
you might not want to listen to this record. I'm serious, man. This record is just like some of it is like, what were you thinking? It's well executed, yes, and it's Robert Plant. He sounds great, and Jimmy Page, sound good. I'm like, blah. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's kind of lame too.
Now everyone's
Kinda.
mad at you. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it is. It just,
No.
is. It just is what it is. What's the next song?
Please read the letter. Originally written and recorded by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant as Page and Plant for the 1998 album Walking to Clarksdale. Plant and Alison Krauss later recorded a version of the song for their collaboration album Raising Sand, released in 2007. The song was well received by critics and won the Record of the Year award in 2009. That version with Alison Krauss, of course. It is in the Folk Rock Hall of Fame. Plant explained that Please Read the Letter is a song about yearning for someone, adding that the lyrics are about unfinished business, and the song is featured in the closing moments of the final episode of the USA TV show The Riches. I'd have never seen the show. I'm sure it's great, but never saw it.
I am very familiar with the Alison Krauss version.
Yeah.
And it is a great song. I listened to their version, and it's very good. It's really good. Again, it sounds like something that maybe didn't quite make it onto Led Zeppelin 4. It has very much has that sort of like,
leftover.
Kind of like mid-tempo, really good. Like it's well written. The lyrics are very good. Like it was something like they had to choose between that and something else, and they didn't choose that. Again, like it really sounds like it could have come from there. So in this case, it is very Led Zeppelin-y. It's very much. I think so. I was really tickled to hear their version, even though that is the original version. But my exposure song was from the Alison Krauss, which I absolutely fucking love. It's the beautiful song. What's next?
Most High, which is, I think, the most fun song.
Most high, dude.
The song features a keyboard overdub
Right? See what happens when you mess
by
around?
Tim Whelan of Trans Global Underground, played in quarter tone to mimic Moroccan trance. Reached #1 in the U.S. Billboard Mainstream Rock Chart in 1999. The song won Page and Plant the Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance. B-side The Window was one of 2 known original songs from the sessions to not make the album, the other being Whiskey from the Glass, which I'd like to hear that one.
I'd like to drink that.
Yeah, there it is. Most High was directed, the music video for Most High was directed by Italian-Canadian photographer and director Floria. Oh my gosh.
Jesus juice.
It was included as a bonus feature on the DVD release of No Quarter. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, unleaded. The video, featuring visual references to religious themes of the song's lyrics, depicts Jimmy Page and Robert Plant as prisoners in a numbered cell block, with other cells holding a series of mutated creatures practicing dark magic, which is ironic because Jimmy Page used to dabble in some dark black magic. So
Magic.
that might have been his influence there.
Satanic arts.
Yes. For a while, Jimmy Page owned Aleister Crowley's house for a brief while. And you know where Aleister Crowley's house is located?
I don't.
Beachview?
It's in Beachview, exactly.
Yeah, I thought so.
In Cannonsburg?
All right, where's it located?
On Loch Ness.
Is it
fun.
really?
How freaky.
Huh. He should have summoned Nessie.
But he had
Probably did.
He probably did.
he did.
Summoned. Look at the serious face.
I know. I'm surprised he held it for
Wow,
more
that's
than 2
pretty
What are you
seconds.
trying to say?
Good.
And that you can look it up. There's like a mini documentary about that house on YouTube, and it has quite a history. And some people, had weird shit happen there, and some have not. It's been different things. It's been burnt down. It's been rebuilt, and I believe at this point it is still kind of just like partially,
Desolate.
Really?
partially burned down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating, Captain.
So, Aleister Crowley was the guy who made. Aleister Crowley was the guy that Hitler was jealous of.
Yeah.
He was.
Wow.
Because
legit.
Aleister Crowley was the most wicked man in the world, and Hitler was mad because he wanted to be the most wicked
He
man
was
in
just
the world.
misunderstood. Like his close friends knew him.
In any case, Most High is a great song.
How do we go there?
We just talked about dark magic.
Oh, God, thank you, Lily. Thank you so much.
I'm still trying to stay on the same page
I'm trying to do
as
so.
myself, not as you two.
Good luck.
Yeah, this was a single, and probably because it is the sort of most sort of like rock and roll Zeppelin-y song, on here. Yeah, for sure.
Most Zeppelin-y.
Most Zeppelin.
Zeppelin-y.
Zeppelin-y. What you got next?
Heart in your hand. Very, yeah. Ha, 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 ha. Very slow paced.
Get that
possibly
heart
a
in
love
your
song.
hand.
Seems to be a little sexier than just a love song, but listening to the lyrics, it's love lost. He seems brokenhearted and missing his love interest and wondering if she is the same, if she feels the same or misses him too.
This
Probably not.
song reminded me. First of all, there's Jimmy Page's guitar work on this is really good. It's awesome. This reminded me of another Robert Plant song from the 80s, probably about 10 years before, called Big Log. It has that same sort of like we're out in the middle of the desert, you know what I mean? And that guitar has all this like echo on it, like it sounds like knowing Jimmy Page is probably like a real Fender tube reverb
Right.
and an actual tape Echoplex.
Sure.
It has that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Lily knows exactly what we're talking about.
Not at all.
And it's very it's got like sad, lonesome kind of guitar on it. It's cool. It's a cool song. What's the next song?
Walking into Clarksdale. The name of the album, and Clarksdale being the town in Mississippi where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil in exchange for his prowess on the guitar. Super bluesy, somber. Plant does mention the stranger at the crossroads. Again, this is sort of dark, like Jimmy Page likes. So,
This is another sort of thing I take umbrance with this record is the sort of overall AAA vibe, that sort of album adult alternative kind of vibe. It's very if you're not from Pittsburgh, you're not going to get what I'm about to say, but it's very WYEP. And this is one of those songs that like I was like, this is like fits come right on there, kind of like cool, hip, you know what I mean,
Alternative
trendy,
adults,
but just a little edgy, not too edgy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't make it too edgy
Sure,
now.
sure.
Come on. But it's just like it's okay. And we're just like meh.
Meh?
What do you got?
Burning Up.
Yeah. Now here we go.
Probably the heaviest song on the album.
This is a good jam.
It starts out very heavy from the get-go and continues that way until the end of the song. Another type of love song, but this time sort of a tortured, painful love that stings the soul. Very dark and brooding. For as much as it rocks and as heavy as it is. I don't know what that was.
Wow.
Bones, shut up.
Yeah, Bones is creaking. His bones is creaking.
Bones is creaking.
Good rocker. It's not quite the Immigrant Song or Whole Lot of Love, but it's pretty good. I'll take it. It's a little mid-tempo. Another thing that I think that could be improved on this record is there's places where the songs they could be a little faster. This is one of the songs that, like, I think if they pumped it up a bit, like, would have had more energy. It is a good rock tune. It's a good rock tune, but it just sort of, it's a little bit like, I almost feel like kind of like, and I can't prove this or anything. This is just my own imagination, my twisted fantasy.
Oh boy.
God,
That, like,
freaking knows right.
Yikes.
like Jimmy Page is like, he sounds like he really wants to rock out on this, but like Robert's got the reins on.
He's like, no,
calm down. So that's just, I don't know if that's true or not. It just sort of feels that way on this song. Like, I'm like, it's good, but I just yeah. Anyways, what's the next song?
When I Was a Child, another slow one. This one is again about love, but how he stood so tall when he was an innocent, young, possibly brave little boy and his naivety, and he was dreaming of his love. It's kind of dirty in that way, though.
Whoa.
He was dreaming of little boy love?
Not
Wow,
little boy
no.
love. He was a little boy dreaming
Jeepers
of adult
creepers.
lady love.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Bones.
Hey.
Oh my God. Here's Bones. Now, see, by the way, for those of you who don't understand, Bones plays trombone and trumpet.
Yeah, he's good.
It's good.
He multitasking.
Wow.
Let's just go. I can't talk about this.
House of Love is the next song. Another love song. He and his love built a house of love. She's leaving him now, of course. He's hurt. His arms are empty. She touched his soul. It was later re-recorded with different lyrics by Robert Plant and the sensational Space Shifters for their 2014 studio album Lullaby and the Ceaseless Roar. I'm sorry, I can't read my own notes because I'm blind.
Oh.
But yes, another favorite of Lou's apparently.
No,
like this
actually, I
one?
think this song's kind of cool. It has these distorted drums, and when I hear distorted drums, I instantly get interested. And so I think that's good. It has like kind of an adventurous production. They're kind of playing around with like different sounds. It's pretty cool. The chord changes are really out there. Like there's goes to a lot of different places. You go like, oh, I didn't know what they were gonna do. Oh, cool. All right. So it's got a lot of that stuff in it. I'm just not sure
Yeah.
this is the issue with a lot of this record. It's like, I like that part. I like that part. Well,
Yeah.
that's
So you like
cool.
pieces.
But there's not a lot for me personally that like really comes together. Like, oh, it's like really a satisfying song. So that's my sort of feeling about House of Love is I think it's very cool, but I'm still not hearing like a wow, damn, that's a kick-ass song. Just like, no, that's cool. There's a lot of good ideas in there. Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just saying.
Are you just saying?
I'm just saying. You saying? I'm saying. I'm saying.
I understand. Yeah.
I can't stand you.
What?
What?
What are you saying?
What are you trying to say?
I thought it was pretty clear.
I thought it was pretty clear. Just shut the fuck up.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Last one.
yes,
Sons of Freedom.
yes.
Not really sure the song meaning. I can skip this one. He does mention, and this sounds horrible, getting another white girl because the one he has is broken. He feels
Oh, we can relate to that.
he feels naked and alone. I have no idea. It's kind of sloppy for me. Maybe it was meant to be that way. I don't know. I'm not a songwriter, but this is one I don't like on the album. So
Because she's just another white girl.
I
That's
think
why.
that's probably why.
Lily and I completely disagree.
Okay.
Oh.
I love the production on this. It's really neat.
Is it Peachy Keen?
There's some great chord changes by Jimmy Page. Great like choices. Like he does really interesting stuff. This is like House of Love in the same way. Like both these songs are cool. Oh, that's neat. They do that on the Golden Horse. Riding a
Upon a Golden Horse.
Upon a Golden Horse. There's some cool. You're like, oh, that's neat. Like I didn't expect that. Which I think is very cool, and that's one of the things that we love Led Zeppelin for, right? I mean, as much as they were heavy rock and stuff, they were good. So I always said that Led Zeppelin is my Beatles, because they just do so much. In any case, it's probably the most aggressive track on the album. In my opinion, it should have opened the album. I think it's really good balls out. Like it was like, oh, this is how they should have started. But it needs more energy from Robert Plant. he's really like restrained on this. And this song, like he really should have like, because it's really up tempo, and he really should have put on his like like the song Rock and Roll. He should have like gave it something more like that.
Yes.
And I think that like, and the whole record kind of needed that. I think that he can't, because they played the Led Zeppelin material live during this period,
They sure
and he
did.
sounded great. So I'm not sure why he didn't bring some of that. And I just don't know if he was like. Sometimes I get the impression that Robert Plant is almost like not embarrassed about Led Zeppelin, but like, because he said there's a they released an electronic press kit when they put this out, and you can look at it on YouTube, and there's like actual interviews with them. And Robert Plant says, "Yeah, I want to be remembered for something I did, 2 months ago or 2 years ago, not 25 years ago." Like he's like, I don't like. He's like, I'm over. He's like, he's over the Led Zeppelin thing. So I don't know, man. Like, it's just, man, I'm not him, and you can't judge like why. I can't tell him how he should feel about his own life. It's no. I would never do it to anybody. But it just seems like it's just something that like maybe his heart really isn't in, and maybe he was doing because Jimmy Page liked it, and he knew the fans would enjoy it. Kind of like, because it didn't last real long. They didn't keep doing this.
Right.
The whole thing is like a blip. It's like 94 to 98. It's like they release the album, they do it, and they don't really do anything much after. They do tour, but there's no like no more new music or anything like that. Yeah, Steve Albini. Like I got to talk about him. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
I want to talk about Steve Albini. Steve Albini's a producer on this. Now, let's talk. I don't know if you guys, not you guys. I know you guys know.
Sure.
But people may not completely understand that a producer doesn't just like tell it needs more treble.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's
like,
not sliding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The faders up and down.
The best producers are the guys that like help the artist really work with the songs and really kind of like, no, you need to do that twice. No, maybe you should sing high. No, take that note up here, and no, go down. No, make this part more quiet. That part's too long. Like they do stuff like that. You know what I mean? No. Go home and rewrite that. That the hook's too long. Like we can't work with that. That's what a producer does. He kind of like, he encourages the band. Sometimes he kicks them in the ass. He's got to be like kind of like a parent. He's got to like be able to say no.
Little hand smacking.
No, we're not doing that. Steve Albini is the producer on this album, and he's worked with a huge slew of artists, most namely Nirvana. And it just, I'm not exactly sure why Page and Plant chose him. I mean, I can guess that maybe he produced Nirvana, so maybe they're like, well, we want to be current,
Right.
we don't want to, we don't want somebody who's going to make us sound like 1985 or whatever. We want to sound like now.
What year did the album come out again?
98.
98. Okay.
And
July 1st, 1998.
Oh, look at you.
I only know that because my
and it was released.
goddaughter was born.
Wait a minute.
Wow,
Wasn't
there
it
you
was
go.
Wasn't it released a different day worldwide with different album cover or
Oh,
something?
wait, I lied. It was 1998, April 21st.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The concert was July 1st.
That's
Okay.
right. I know. I pulled it up on. Somebody has a picture of the concert dates for that.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
Pittsburgh
cool.
concert date
Yeah?
is on there.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, of course, Pittsburgh. Like, oh shit, they played Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Lily, like you calm down. You need like a cold shower.
That
or
was my
something.
most expensive concert ticket ever. At the time, I was 17.
I was
and
gonna say.
I was 17, and it might have been my most expensive. I don't pay for concerts anymore. It was $50 for
Wow.
one ticket.
In 1998.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for a
man.
17-year-old, that's a
they
lot of
could
damn money.
definitely
Yeah.
command that. I mean,
Yeah.
they were having a real resurgence. And so in the in these interviews that they did for the album to promote the album, there's some interesting statements. Like before I re-listened to the album, I watched this stuff first, and well, first of all, it's funny because there's this like text part on the screen that goes on about this is they after this they had done this no quarter thing. There was demand for them to release new music and to get into the studio and blah 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 blah, and this is an album that they are deeply proud of, and and all this stuff like that. And then you interview them and they're kind of like, yeah, well, we did this record.
we did it.
I don't know what you want to say. They weren't like that, but there were some interesting statements. Robert Plant was like, he said this, like literally said this, like, well, we could have made a few things better, but I'm like, what?
Why didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, but he says we just thought it would lose the whatever. And then Jimmy Page said it's their most honest album.
I can see that.
And that like all songs are very performable, which I don't really see because some of the songs have like all kind of orchestras and stuff on them. So, and by honest, did he mean like honestly lazy? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Like that. But like, in any case, I don't mean that. I mean, it just was like weird the way he said it. They just said they weren't like really bragging it up or like they didn't sound enthusiastic about it at all. I can't explain. Go back and watch it. You tell me. But they don't really sound like guys who are like really excited about
like,
promoting
wow,
their
check
new
this
album.
out.
You know what I mean? They make no. So like it was kind of I'm going into it, I'm like where's this coming from? But anyways, the producer, back to Steve Albini. One of the things I said is the producer, and I'm not like making this up. You can look it up. The producer has sometimes got to be tough with the band.
Yes.
And then he's got to be kind of like he has to work with them as equals. He can't go in there and be like starstruck.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. And I think now there's interviews on YouTube with Steve Albini talking about working with them. And first thing he says, and this is very interesting too. So this is where I think this is why I think the thing went off the rails. He said, he says, first thing I was prepared was to be fired at any moment because they had a reputation of firing people. And so I wasn't exactly sure where he was coming from because this is their first album in 20 years. So I wasn't exactly sure what we were talking about. If he's talking about way back in Led Zeppelin days, or if he's talking about them individually on their solo projects, I don't know what we're talking about. So that's what he starts talking about. So already he's kind of like afraid for his job.
Right.
And then he's like, he says, you have to give deference to the artist, and you have to. He says, especially artists with this pedigree. That's the word he used. And I was like, well, that was the problem because they needed somebody to like really get in there and treat them as like equals,
right,
and tell them no at times, or make good suggestions, like. Because Steven is a musician and a songwriter as well. He's been in bands and everything too. He's not, and he's done these really good records. So I think that we had a situation where I think we would have had a producer with a little bit more confidence, like, I don't know, like maybe like a Rick Rubin.
He was probably super intimidated.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like, and that doesn't necessarily make for being a good producer. You have to kind of like. I remember Tom Petty talking about the Traveling Wilburys, and he said that he says he was completely gobsmacked, starstruck. Right. He says for like 5 minutes. And then I knew I'm like,
I gotta get
I kind of feel like that's how I would
we have to make music together. This isn't going to work if I'm like, oh my God,
George Harrison,
Bob Dylan, I'm going to lose my mind. George Harrison, Bobby ukulele. It's actually true, but it is George Harrison. George Harrison showed up at the thing with ukuleles for everybody. He had a trunk. He was handing them out.
See, that's the way to do it.
They were all painted like different and stuff like that.
Next week, I'm coming to the podcast with ukuleles for you and Lily.
He was but in any case, so the producer has to be able to do that, and if they can't do that, then you end up with a record that's like this record that's like. Yeah. Like I said, if it was anybody else, you'd be like, it was brilliant. But they needed somebody to, like, at points tell them, like, excuse me, aren't you the guys that wrote fucking Black Dog? You
Right.
wrote the fucking
Right.
Ocean. You wrote
What the hell
fucking
is this shit?
Stairway to Heaven. Like, come on. Come on. Like, you guys can
Tangerine.
do this. Let's kick this shit in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to they need that. I mean, if you look at all the great records, there's a lot. If you look at producers like Glyn Johns and people like that, they're very active in working with how the songs get shaped up. But in any case, so that is a sort of just something I question about the whole thing. And I don't know if I said this already, but I thought that maybe this would have been better as a Robert Plant album with Jimmy Page like as a guest musician or something. But I know I'm making it sound like the album sucks or something like that. I'm just saying that I just think that this like not up to their standard. Now I have to talk about something else.
Uh-oh.
We're all fired.
Again?
He does it every week.
I know, that's true. We always
Billy
come
Altman.
back.
He's there somewhere.
Billy Altman.
But I
Billy
can't-
Altman. He's like Mary Sharkman. Mary Hartman.
Mary Sharkman.
Wow.
So
Yes. Yes, Lou.
I want to talk about this, and I want because I'm very interested to know what Lily V6 would like
God, why
to say
does
about
it
this.
always have to be me?
And Pittsburgh Kevin too. But the record that I think, this I went back and listened to it and remembered listening to it and going like, I don't really need to buy this, and I didn't buy it. It just did not grab me.
Right.
When I heard Coverdale Page, I bought that fucker like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Just for a couple minutes, let's do a little Coverdale Page versus Walking into Clarksdale.
Well, that's look. I like walking into Clarksdale, but I kind of feel like it's no contest on that one.
Exactly. Him and David Coverdale did a better Led Zeppelin
Yes.
than he
Dan.
did it with Robert Plant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. And I think that, I'm sorry, and I know probably some fans, are not happy with my opinion on this, but I think that the average garden variety guy, okay, I was going to say working in a steel mill, but, working, like a working class dude who loves his, classic rock station, and is listening to, maybe he's listening to some newer rock, too, and then he hears Jimmy Page and Robert Plant are going to record together. He's expecting
He's expecting something
something
similar.
more like the
Zeppelin-ish.
Coverdale Page
Yeah.
kind of thing, that really kicks that song. Oh my God! What's the song that kicks off that record? What's that called, Lily? That is so
Oh, boy.
shake.
I have
my-
to look because
Shake
I'm
my tree or something like that.
shake somebody's tree. I don't know. Hold on.
Shake Pittsburgh Kevin's
What's
tree.
that? Yeah, that's. I mean, that thing is insane, and the whole record is good. There's a great ballad on there.
Shake my tree.
Shake my
Oh, there
tree.
you go.
That's it.
There's a great ballad on there. Why don't you take me for a little while? I mean, just it's a kick-ass record. It's a really good rock record.
Do you know who produced that?
You know what? I would have to.
Because that would be interesting to see.
Okay, cover day. I think Jimmy Page produced it, but I don't know. I
We're
thought
looking
maybe
it up
he
as
did.
you listen here.
This one was from 1993.
Yeah, it's a cut from a year or so before.
Do you have it, Lil?
I did have it, and I clicked the wrong thing because you know what? I forgot about the internet and how to use it.
It happens. It
When
happens.
you click on a picture,
A picture.
produced by David Coverdale and Jimmy Page and Mike Frazier.
Okay.
So they worked with Mike Frazier. Oh, Mike Frazier, AC/DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
There we
fine.
go. So you got a real producer there.
Yeah.
It's not intimidated. It's
Yeah. He's worked with Aerosmith, Metallica.
Yeah, there you go.
Dave
So he's
Grohl.
already
Yeah,
So
he's
he's
fine
like
with all the
established,
social
and
media.
he's
Yeah,
like-
he's like, I
he
got
has-
this.
he
has
knows how
no-
to
he
deal
has-
with it.
Yeah, so you bring somebody like that in there, and Jimmy Page is no slouch as a producer either.
Right,
He's really
right.
good.
Oh, it was also done at Abbey Road Studios. Fun.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they're
look
all
at
done
that.
in Abbey Roads. Abbey Roads is. Oh, it's good. It's like Giant Eagles.
Diner
Abbey
Abbey Rose.
Roses.
Abbey Roses.
Abbey Roads is.
You didn't know that.
Okay, guys, cheats is after
Get
this.
some jumbo.
Oh, I'm thinking of the song I was actually thinking of was Shake My Tree is the second track on the album. The first track is called Pride. I always get it screwed up because it's not the Stevie Ray Vaughan song, Pride and Joy.
Okay.
Number 1 is Shake My Tree.
That's what that says, Pride and Joy.
That's the first single that came out.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Good thing Lily's here.
Man, whew, having problems here.
You all right?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yep.
There you go. Cool them off.
But yeah, and David Coverdale's voice sounds good. Like
Well,
that's like
that man could sing me the phone book. And I'd be
Oh,
cool
that's
with
right.
That.
That's your boy
That's one of them. I have a long list of
of boys.
boys. Especially when you sing like that.
You know.
That is, but that is a smoking record, and they sound like they're like really. It's vicious. Like it's really good rock and roll. I would just tell you to like, I would probably, if I was a kid, and I had, I could buy one CD. At that time, that's
that
what
one?
I did. I bought this.
See, if you were, no, you were, and you
Get
did.
Coverdale Page, or am I going to walk into Clarksdale? I'm getting Coverdale Page.
Well, had you gone on the tour, you would have enjoyed it.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm sure it was great, and like I said, they have a DVD from that, and it's very good. They kick ass.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
I have the set list from.
Oh, what is the set list?
yeah.
Do that. It's a good idea.
All right, the set list from the July 1st, 1998 show at Civic Green in Pittsburgh, PA. The Wanton song, Bring It On Home, Heartbreaker, Ramble On, Walking into Clarksdale, No Quarter, Shining in the Light, Going to California, Tangerine, Gallows Pole, Heart in Your Hand, How Many More Times, Down by the Riverside, which I love, How Many More Times, Most High, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Whole Lotta Love, Thank You, and Rock and Roll.
There you go.
That was the set list from
No
that night.
Stairway.
No Stairway. They
Denied.
They did start Stairway, and everybody lost their whole
Yeah,
mind.
they're like,
and then they
"Psych."
no, we're not doing that.
Fucking with you.
They did start Stairway, and they're like, no, we're not doing that.
Jags.
They took one
And
step
we're
onto the
Jagoffs.
Don't be a jagoff,
You
Jimmy Page, you
jagoffs.
Robert Plant.
Get one guy in the back. It's Jagoffs.
I bought an awesome tank top there. It was black with all their little like symbols in gold.
Yeah.
That shit don't fit me anymore. But
I don't care.
I
Put
think
it
I
on
still
anyway.
have it. No, it's gonna be like.
If the shit don't fit, you must quit.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'd have to like cut it and sew myself into that thing.
Jeepers.
My boobs are way bigger now than they were in 1998.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lily, for gaining weight.
Oh,
Ain't
Lord
that
Jesus.
some
Okay, so this podcast, the Robert Plant and Jimmy Page portion of the podcast is now concluded.
Thank you for attending.
However, we are going to
Hold
talk
on
about
now,
a couple
there's
of little
more.
things here if the kids want to
You
open
kids.
for hanging up. You guys need another drink or something?
I'm good.
I need another drink.
Go
That's what
run.
we're gonna do. We're gonna
Run,
take
Lily,
we're gonna take a
run.
little break. I'm gonna
Little
play,
breaky poo.
I'm gonna play a bit of a song, and then we're gonna come back. Let's see. We haven't played a song yet, so you guys hang up. We're gonna hang around. We're gonna have a drink, and we'll be back in a minute.
drink a poo.
Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Creeping round the valley floor, I hear the cry of another people. Take my hand and walk through this door. I'm gonna raise you up to the top of the steeple. Trash talking, sideways walking. They do their best, practical magic, reality twisting. I'm insisting this comedy is turning tragic. Let's rewrite the script today. We want peace in the valley. wants is an unspoken four-letter word. My body shakes and twitches all night from every word I never heard. I need one thing to make my eyes red. With the sound of music so sweet, it's a love sign, not a battle cry. That will make the world I need. Hold me in your arms, sing to me. We want peace in the valley, peace in the valley we pray. Give us peace in the valley, peace in the valley today. We want love in the valley, we'll make love in the valley all day. Give us peace in the valley, peace in the valley today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Did you miss us?
Didn't all miss
you.
us, you know that? Okay, so wolfscustoms.online. Find them on social media to get custom artwork done on your musical instrument. Rockbridgeradio.com. Download the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oh, you know what? I never gave our website. Oh my God. I am being such a Riri.
You stupid. You stupid.
I hate you guys.
Come on now.
I miss the days. I miss the days when you could just call somebody retarded. You know, can't do that anymore. I miss those days. I'm not calling anybody retarded. I'm just saying I miss those days when you could say that.
If I'm retarded, I can call you retarded. Right? See? That's how that works.
Is that the?
Now, that
is
means
the
you're
loophole?
not really retarded if you do that.
Huh?
Is that your loophole?
Yeah.
If you say stuff like that.
You want
then-
to see my loophole?
if you
No.
call somebody retarded, then you're not really retarded.
I don't want to see lose pole.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway,
Loudini RockandRollCircus.com, LouLombardiMusic.com. Check it out, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. And you want to get in, you can join our inner circle, and we can join in on the comments and hang out with us and have all the fun. Okay, so thank you,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this day in
This
music.
exact day?
Everybody's favorite game show. These guys, this is the first time these guys have ever actually been
here we go.
on this day in music.
Who is it?
The Beatles.
Who?
They played,
Was that band Paul McCartney was in years ago?
Mm.
the Beatles played 3 gigs in one day.
They're crazy.
I played 3 gigs in one day. Did you ever do that?
No. No, sir.
There was some.
I've gone to 3.
One's enough.
When I played with
4-hour gig, that's enough.
Pat and Shelley Duff and Gary Matassa,
Yeah.
we had every year there was one day.
Uh-huh.
It was in the summertime.
Yeah.
Where we had 3 gigs in one
That's
day.
wow.
So we would check this out. We would play. How did it start? We would play. There was a festival on Saturday.
Okay.
Like in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and then we would Then we go out and play that,
Yes.
and then we would have a gig that evening in a bar
Okay.
and play that gig till like 2:00 in the morning,
Right.
and then we had a gig at 7 a.m.
Holy frick.
at a marathon
Holy.
when this marathon kicked off.
Wow.
Fun.
And
That's all I have to say about that.
and sometimes it worked out. Did I ever wait a minute?
Yeah. I'll wait. I got time.
I think we may have had Friday night. Then the marathon was Saturday morning. The festival was Saturday afternoon, and there was a gig Saturday night.
Okay.
So
Like-
you're
like-
Lenny.
so yeah,
cow.
yeah. It was crazy. It was insane. And I remember driving the trailer with all the equipment and everything to that from the gig the night before, driving it to the fairgrounds where this marathon was going to be held, and just sleeping there.
Yeah.
Like I did
Right.
that like 2 years in a row, like because it was like, what was I gonna do? Like I was all the way back here in Kansas, I was gonna drive. You know what I mean? It didn't
Right,
make any
right. Well,
sense.
it didn't make sense.
Yeah, so I just parked there and I tried to sleep the best I could, and then I went to like Wendy's in the morning or something. You know what I mean? And but it was
Yeah,
like,
that's-
yeah, you just
wow.
brought some changes of clothes and just did your thing. It was crazy, but yeah, you could play 3 gigs in one day.
Yeah.
It sucks, but you can do it. Well, two. We were like, at least 2 of those gigs were like full nights.
Really?
So
How many hours? Like you talking 3 hours?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so but like a band like the Beatles is gonna go do like a showcase, I would imagine, for to play half an hour.
Yeah.
that's a little different.
Thank you.
64, Billy Joel, New York band The Echoes recruited a new young unknown piano player named Billy Joel.
Really?
Mr. Joel.
Oh goodness, do you guys remember the Pink Floyd?
The Pink
I've
Floyd
heard
or
of
just
them.
Pink Floyd?
The Pink Floyd. Or
Pink
just
Floyd
Pink
started their first sessions at EMI Studios on their debut album Piper at the Gates of Dawn, this day in 1967.
Wow.
This day in 1968, Otis Redding had his first entry on the UK singles chart when Sitting on the Dock of the Bay entered the chart.
I do
It
love that
went
song.
to be number 3 hit. The song became the first posthumous
I was gonna say he was gone.
single to top the U.S. Charts.
Otis.
Simon and Garfunkel went to number 1 on the UK chart with Bridged Over Troubled Water this day in 1970.
Sail on
And
Silver
speaking
Girl.
of,
And speaking of Fred Zeppelin,
Fred Zeppelin.
that's my cousin.
1972, Led Zeppelin released Rock and Roll /4/6 on a 7-inch single.
7-inch.
My big 7-inch.
I wish I had said.
Never mind.
You know.
Oh.
The song was written as a spontaneous jam session whilst the band were trying to finish 4/6. Drummer John Bonham played the intro to Little Richard's "You Keep a Rockin'," and Page added the guitar riff. With the tapes rolling, the basic song was finished 15 minutes later.
Ain't that some shit?
Wish I was that talented. I am not.
On this
Sure
day
you
in 1976, the Four Seasons were at number 1 on the UK singles charts with December 63, "Oh What a Night," the group's only UK number 1. I believe that this is the Four Seasons' like last big hit.
Yeah, I think so too.
They had hits all through
Yeah.
the 60s and
Yeah, yeah.
70s, and I think this was the last like really big hit. 9 to 5 was number 1 on this day in 1981.
I was born that
Dolly
year.
Parton.
Hey now.
Oh my goodness, what is this crap?
Oh. That's some shit.
American DJ Murray the K. Murray the K.
Murray the Head?
Yeah.
Murray the K?
Died.
Oh.
He's thought to be the first person to play a Beatles record on American radio.
Well, that's cool.
Well,
Thought that we don't know.
we don't
don't know
know for
shit.
sure, though.
This could be something to fill up space on his webpage.
We don't know shit.
On this day in 1986, Metallica released their 3rd album, the highly influential album Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Considered by many in the metal community to be the best metal album of all time. This was the last Metallica album with bassist Cliff Burton, who was killed with the group's tour bus turnover in southern Sweden while touring to promote the album.
Meanwhile, they'd never been on Sesame Street, so Master of Puppets my ass. Just saying.
Lily!
Sorry, it was the
Kirk, your hand is cold.
I got a lot going on.
Ah.
I got a lot going on here. I'm a little slow on the sound effects.
That's all right.
You just have to do it. I don't want to hear no bullshit. Ben E. King was was at number 1 in the UK singles charts with "Stand by Me" this day in 1987. Why in 1987, Kevin?
Because of the movie
That's right.
Stand By Me.
It's a great movie.
Ain't that
Yes,
something?
it is. My hard on will go on.
Excuse me. What?
Celine
Sir?
Dion, 1990, went to number 1 in the UK singles chart with "My Heart Will Go."
Oh,
On.
heart. My heart on will go on.
Oh my goodness! Anything
If
else
only.
I really want to talk about on this?
If only.
Oh, speaking of Simon Cowell was set to appear on a new episode.
Wait, were we speaking of Simon Cowell?
I was in my brain.
You gotta let us know.
I gotta
Will.
tell you guys something really good about Simon Cowell in a minute.
All right.
Was set to appear in a new episode of The Simpsons. The TV pop idol judge would play nursery boss who gets punched by Homer Simpson. Okay, listen.
Yes.
There is a really cool video.
Yeah.
It's pretty current from Loudwire. It's on YouTube. With like Dave Grohl,
Uh-huh.
Corey
had me
Taylor, several other like pretty cool musicians.
Yeah.
Really coming down on American Idol.
Really?
Really giving
Oh,
it
yeah.
shit.
Okay.
It's like it was like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you guys look it up on YouTube.
I've heard Dave talk about American
like,
Idol.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna move on.
Okay, let's do
Chester
it.
Bennington did something today. Rest in peace. But
Chester.
Nina Simone was born this day in
Oh, there you
1933.
go.
David Geffen
Oh,
was
Dave.
born this day.
Mm-hmm.
In 1943.
Happy birthday.
Jerry Harrison. He's from the Talking Heads.
Oh, nice lady.
They're very nice boys from Brooklyn.
This is why.
This is why what?
I don't even know.
Come on now. You love us. You hate us.
I do hate you.
Vince Valnick.
Yeah,
K.
that's
Boris from the Tubes.
Sure,
Was
sure.
born this day, 1951.
Oh, he's old.
Also a member of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pee my pants in a minute.
Please don't do that.
I'm gonna pee in this leather chair.
It's not my leather chair,
Have you
so
ever
go
heard
for
about
it.
this? Have you guys ever heard this song by the Stranglers called Golden Brown?
No, I've never heard it.
No.
I don't know. This person's on
Perhaps
here.
we should move on.
We're gonna have to look it up later now.
Golden Brown.
Mike Pickering.
Who's he?
I don't know.
I don't
Some
know
moron.
either.
He was
But
born.
happy birthday,
Wow,
Mike.
there it is. Some moron.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Frank
that
and
guy.
Roger.
Sure.
From Frank and Roger.
Duh.
bored.
That was imaginative.
Oh, Michael Ward, guitarist with Wallflowers.
Sure. Okay.
1967. It's a good year.
Oh, we're older than he. Well, I'm older than he is.
Charlotte Church.
Okay.
She was on The Voice. What was she, right? No, what was she?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was that what it is?
Yeah.
Sure.
She was she was like kind of like a surprise. Like
I'd
people
like to worship
They couldn't
in her.
believe that like she could sing that way or something like that. Cordon Bleu. That's not what this is.
It's Corbin. It
It's
says
very
Corbin.
delicious.
Cordon Bleu was born this day.
Wee wee. Chicken.
Cordon Bleu.
Brother.
This podcast, I apologize.
This one has gotten out of
Complete
hand.
Disaster.
Folks, look up Off the Rails. You'll see a picture of all three of us.
I don't know what we're doing or who's doing what. That's what we look like. I think I'm just going to erase this after we're done. It's
There's no podcast this week.
we're just going to like pretend that the last hour and a
It's
half
the
didn't
best
happen.
of Loudini this
All right,
week.
guys. You guys have a great week. Next week we're going to have an awesome topic.
What are we doing?
We got to pick a topic.
Oh, we have to pick a
We
topic.
have so many options.
Well, it doesn't matter because every topic we pick is awesome.
Exactly. So we will be back next week. We got Lily V6. Lily, tell them about your show.
My show is Hot Licks with Lily 6 on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Get the app, Rock Rage Radio, or just go to rockrageradio.com. It's free.
Get the app. It ain't crap.
It ain't
Tell
Attaboy.
John that's our new
Attaboy.
saying.
I
New
mean,
slogan.
I will put
Get
it on
the app. They ain't crap.
I'm gonna put it on the Facebooks. So
The Facebooks.
Facebook.
On the interwebs? Sure. That's great.
what the hell was I writing there? Oh my gosh.
You don't know,
Stop.
do you?
I don't.
Oh, Lord.
If you ain't got the app, you gonna feel like crap.
John's probably watching going, oh my God, why?
We apologize.
If you don't get the app, you get a pimp slap.
Oh my gosh.
Opinions expressed on the Loudini Rock and Roll
Are not
Circus.
necessarily those of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus or its subsidiaries,
Yeah, right?
including Rock Range Radio, Wolf's Customs, done on.
That's right. That's right. We'll absolve all of you.
We disavow all knowledge, and this recording will self-destruct
I don't know.
in 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, we're getting the fuck out of here. Go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com if you can put up with it.
Please.
Have a great one, guys. We'll catch you on the next Loudini Rock and Roll
See ya.
Circus.